Hi, this is Majin, and here is time for some comic reviews. We got some Royals, we have some Rebellions who get flushed, we have some Dark Bats who get some evil injustice, and we get some death. We get some Avengering because there's death. Then we get all new trials and tribulations of the mighty Thor, or because he's a god. And we also get the Goblin Nation. Alright, Royals, Master of War. I'm going to go quick on this one, because this is, I'll be honest with you, we've seen this story. We've seen this story multiple times. It's called The Invaders and Uber. That's what it basically is, Captain America. It's basically, we have this fictitious world where it's, the Germany's fighting the English, and there's the royal family type, a royal family, and then, oh, guess what? They got some superpowers, and they're busting ships down, and oh, wouldn't you know it, in the next issue, we're going to find out there's more people with powers. So that's what we got here. This is what I will give it, though. I think the art is actually real. They do a really nice job with the artwork. It kind of fits everything, and I think it sets itself apart from the rest of the nonsense that's going on in comics, meaning it doesn't look like your typical Superman type book. It does get a little bit violent. We do get some death. We get some dismemberment. So I'm always in favor of some of that stuff. But, is this going to really keep my attention for long? I don't know. This is one way I can describe this book, and I think some of you guys might understand this. Imagine you're about to put a DVD in, and it's this epic war movie where there's supposed to be lots of killing, lots of violence, epic battles. But you got a girl who just likes to yap her mouth, and she won't stop talking. And you can't get to the good stuff because she just keeps like a chicken hen. And that's what this book reminds me of. Alright, Rogue's Rebellion. Royally flushed. My God, I wish they would just flush this whole goddamn crossover series. Be done with this nonsense. The Royal Flush Gang. The Royal Flush Gang is like a D-level group against the Rogues. I'm like, and you're having trouble with that. Oh my God. The pain that I go through to read these books. You know what saved this book? I swear to God, I was getting ready to just throw this book away. I really was. But the one thing that saved it was we got some Crime Syndicate battle, which I was like, okay, that's some cool stuff. Tamika girl, she's evil and she does some nasty things. And then as they get pulled away because, God forbid that the writers actually use these characters at all, we get to see the Rogues fighting the next group of supervillains. And I'm so glad that we have a writer who finally realized that there's more supervillains than the Terminator. So that pretty much saved the day for Rogue's Rebellion. And I really thought going into this that Arkham War was going to be better. Rogue's Rebellion. This is Shakespeare compared to the Arkham War. Ugh. Okay. Let's see if we can get a shining light on this. Batman Eternal. Basically what this is taking place a little bit into the future. And I have to admit, I really miss Capullo's artwork, but I think overall this issue, Snyder did a great job in teleporting us into the future. We get to see a new character, Bluebird, and what really impressed me about Bluebird is granted they planted the seeds for Harper Row a long time ago, so I'm okay with that. And I'm okay with the fact that they just moved on to they skipped Damian, really quick. And there's no serious grieving period like they normally go through. But they really thought about this character and gadgetry. She's using things that set her apart from all the other characters of, Batman's protege type partners. She's got guns. Look at the boot thing going. So I really appreciate that. And I was really enjoying this book. I'll put it this way: if Capullo was on this to do artwork, this would have been my good book of the week, hands down. But the end of the series, the end of this issue, I'm not going to spoil. But all I said was, thank God that character is back, because I really enjoyed that character. And I can tell you this: it's not Lex Luthor. That's what I will say. And I enjoyed it. That this was a good way of, I guess you can say, give you an idea of what Batman Eternal is going to be like. But let's be honest: do you really need to know what do you really need a secret glimpse? We all read previews. We all scan the internet. We all do various things. So we don't need a whole issue devoted to a sneak peek. Just give us a damn book. That's all I got to say about that. If you're not reading Injustice, I would highly recommend just add this to your file. Now, granted, if you're the type of reader that, I don't know, just gets so bent out of shape over continuity and all this other stuff, can't see heroes in different light, then maybe this issue isn't for you, this series. But this is, honestly speaking, this Injustice is probably some of the best DC stuff, because they really take chances at what's going on. And so far, this really does show, I think, a better representation of what would happen if superheroes took over the world, type thing. And I'm so happy to see Oracle again. You don't understand the joy. And pretty much what's going on here is Oa finally goes, hey, something's going on over there. We need to do something. And so they're setting that up. So overall, I really enjoyed it. It's not what I would call book of the week. It's never probably going to get 10 out of 10 scores type thing. But overall, I'm really enjoying the unpredictability of what's going to happen next. Because people get killed. I mean, heroes get killed. Kyle got killed last issue. So, I like that unpredictable part of it. And we know Kyle's not coming back, because when this book's done, that's it. There's no reason to bring him back. This book technically really should have been the bad book of the week, but I just could not overlook putting the Toad as, I'm sorry, not the Toad, but Paige, who has mental issues, as a guidance counselor above this. I mean, there's no way that could be worse than this. I mean, better than this. Basically, I can't. I'm having a really difficult time putting into words here. Other than, it's basically what they're doing with this is it's a simple paint by number thing. Now, granted, the fighting is really good at times. The art's pretty decent, but it's kind of like really painful to see Wonder Woman and Superman fighting, and I'm like going, it's fighting because it's silliness, that type of thing. It's not like Superman. Just imagine Superman with Lois, and Superman's always gone, and Lois is like, "Why are you gone?" It's nothing like that. Superman just needs to throw Wonder Woman down and just take care of some business, and then that way we can get some good action going, because that's what really Wonder Woman really wants here. And she's also conflicted because that's a man, but he's not really a god, but he's superhero like. And so she has issues. So that's what I mean. Superman just needs to get things done. Now, on the other hand, what's really I found amusing was Wonder Woman does a better job handling these two bozos than Superman does. Now, granted, Superman, it's 2 against 1. But when Wonder Woman comes, she takes care of some business. And I can appreciate that. So that's why it does have a little bit of saving grace. But as a whole, I'm like, oh man, just get me to Doomsday so I can drop this book. That's all I want. Just let me drop it, give me my Doomsday, and let me be disappointed. I want to keep spending $3.99 until I get disappointed. I don't know why I want to do that. Avengers number 26. AIM has been running around stealing the DNA of superheroes. The bone marrow of superheroes. And why are they doing that? Because they're creating an army of super adaptoids. And then they send them out on the trial run against the fake Avengers from another dimension. It's causing mischief and trouble. I enjoyed this part. we got the glimpse of what's going on with the Avengers. We got a glimpse of how powerful the super adaptoids are. We see Hank Pym get killed, and I can always appreciate that because he's a jerk. But here's my problem with it. There is so much history that's going on in these Avenger titles that it is so unfriendly for somebody who wants to just pick it up, because this DNA stealing has been going on for quite a while. And, it's kind of like, it's like, even though they do this thing at the beginning, which sometimes gives you a glimpse as to what's going on here, it's not enough sometimes. And like people ask me, well, which book should I read? And I'm like, well, I would say the Avengers, but fuck, man, you got to buy how many trades just to catch it up. That's the problem. But I'm still enjoying it. It's an interesting take. I love seeing AIM doing something that's a little bit more productive than being a punching bag for an issue or two and then they're gone. So I appreciate that. I also appreciate how they're even tying it into the Secret Avengers, and it's a huge big deal. I mean, the AIM is a serious problem, and technically that's what AIM should be like. They should be a problem, and they're actually using their brains for once. So there's a lot of good that's going on here, but unfortunately, I don't think you can really weigh this whole storyline on a single issue. It's over the long haul. So that's the problem with this. All new X-Men. Okay, there is absolutely nothing in this book that would surprise anybody. Nothing at all. The art's good. The it it's a paint by numbers of what you would expect to happen along the way, and that part's the disappointment for me. But the thing that saves the day, for me at least, is the interaction between Iceman and Rocket Raccoon, and how, Iceman is like a little kid talking to the raccoon, and that raccoon is getting pissed because the way he's being talked to. I like the way Hank McCoy's talking, and I like the way how Angel's talking, and you just know there. I mean, how many of you people saw pictures of Angel with Angela, and you know that if that ever happened, she would break him like a stick. And it's this whole concept of this misfit. It's a misfit team versus an underage misfit team, and it's just providing me some endless amusement with this part of things. Now, the end of this issue, which I won't spoil, is going to set up something which is, could be potentially interesting, but everything's going to get retconned out of things when everything settles. So that part's the disappointment. Unless Marvel just rewrites history like DC does every 10 years or so when they do a reboot. But anyways, I really enjoyed parts of it. The rest is just So realistically speaking, this is what it is. It's the middle of a series, and it's not supposed to be like it doesn't have to be fantastic. What it needs to do is it needs to push you from the beginning to the end, and that's what it's doing. It's setting us up for the end. So hopefully they'll be able to, Bendis will be able to pull everything out, and we'll see something really cool, because we really need to see something cool after the Battle of the Atom. Okay. Thor, God of Thunder. This was an enjoyable book. But here's the thing. For me, even though it's enjoyable, to me it was your basic Aaron Good book. It didn't do anything, at least for the bulk of this, to basically stand out. But how else do you deal with Thor going to help his wannabe girlfriend, and she's dealing with Roxxon, and he goes in and he takes care of some business, and I really liked all that interaction here. The writing was really well done. I love the artwork. The art in Thor: God of Thunder has just been phenomenal throughout pretty much the entire series, and this to me, like I keep saying it time and time again, this to me feels like a book that's worthy of the title Thor: God of Thunder. He's bigger than just being this superhero fighting the wrecking crew type thing. Now, the thing that really, really made this book really work for me is the end. The final 3 pages. See, because you have the date part going, and then you have adult Thor when he's really old, and it's millennia years later, and this is Earth, and Earth is jacked up. You know, we've destroyed everything, and he's just pouting, which would make sense to a point. And he's got his daughters there, and then something happens on that last page, and I'm telling you, the art just made me go, sweet Christmas. Now, I'll spoil it only because I think everybody should already know what's going on because of the previews and stuff like that. But basically what we're getting is Thor versus Galactus. This is an awesome picture of Galactus. It's kind of like, granted it's Galactus because he's got his horns, but it's that hunger. And but he's just standing there, and then the smoke, and the it's just freaking that. I would like a large page of this. That would be wonderful. I want to see that fight. Because that's that's going to kick ass fight. Finally, Superior Spider-Man 27. Now, under normal circumstances, you would think this would be a book of the week, but it really isn't. It's pretty much an average book. It doesn't, because basically what's going on is Otto's world is crumbling. And Slott is basically setting the stage where he's like, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to put all the chess pieces in place, and then at the very end, it's lights out. So that's what this book is. It's just telling you the state of the world, so this way you can get a good idea of what's going on, and he can manipulate us until it gets to the end. Now, the one thing I really did like was the interaction between Goblin and Otto, because basically, Goblin figures out that that's not Peter Parker, that's Dr. Octopus, and I love the reveal there. I love how they try to outsmart each other. That part was all great, and overall, it's decent. It's still a decent read, but it's not what I would consider like a 10-star or a 10 out of 10 book. But I do think that when the way he started this issue for the Goblin Nation storyline, I think when we get to the end, I think we're going to look back and we're just going to go, wow, okay, that was a good issue. That was better than what we thought it really was. That's what my hope is, because based on what Slott's been doing, there's no way that this book is going to be like a 5 out of 5 type thing, even though that's what it's kind of hovering at right now. Because, let's put this, when you have a collection of nothing but, for the most part, solid reads, when you, even if you do good, it's still, how much more difficult is it to outdo yourself? But regardless, I enjoyed it. And I really, all it's really doing is just makes me want to get the next issue more. And the next issue after that more. And I really want to see the final battle between these two characters. And I want to see Peter just jack Otto when it hurts the most. And then I want to see the next issue when the world comes crumbling around Peter when he goes, what the hell were you doing? Especially with that girlfriend. I want to see that interaction between Parker and that girl. Because Parker is going to go, MJ? And that's not no MJ. Anyways, that is my reviews. Let's get you some codes. Let's start you off with some Spider-Mans. Some No More Humans. And the trades. No code for that. Okay. Get you a Thor. Thor doesn't want to come out. There we go. Oh, and how many people saw that huge bundle of DC Villain Month covers for second printing? Jesus, man, that was like 52 issues. It's like $200, but you can get it cheaper online at various places. I was like, damn. And all it did was just comes in a big old bag. I was like, man, you should have come out with something looks nicer than that. Let's see if I can get you the code better so you can read it. There we go. And I'll get you one more. Alright, that's my reviews. Let me know what you guys thought about your books that you picked up. And we'll have some... Oh, I forgot to do my manga haul, so I'll have to do that sometime this week. And we'll have more videos and stuff later. So until next time. Oh, Facebook right there. Crunchyroll Anime Reviews right there.